I live the weirdest life. I don't know how I get myself into these situations. The whole dumb blonde thing really does it for me sometimes. So, I booked accommodation in Tivat, right? When I was comparing between hostels and apartments and stuff, it was actually cheaper for me to get an apartment to myself rather than share like a 10-bedroom dorm. So I was like, sold. I remember comparing a lot, but then I was also comparing other ones as well. I think I just got confused and I ended up booking one. Seemed nice enough. I was like, it's pretty basic, but you know, it's got a bathroom, it's my own bedroom, like it's fine. There's even a washing machine. I really want to do some washing that doesn't cost me 40 Australian dollars. So, I booked it. I got off the bus from Budva to Tivat, and then I intended to get a local bus from there to at least near as I can to the apartment, because the apartment was still 30 minutes away from the main bus station. So I couldn't buy a bus ticket from that bus station, but they said just wait outside the stop and then ask the bus drivers as they come past. The bus comes every hour for that line. Awesome. So I kept asking the bus, like a bus driver came past not soon after. I asked him and he was like, oh no, I had to show the map and everything. Didn't really speak English, but I communicated that it was the next bus. Okay, I waited like another hour, and now, meanwhile, I was debating hiring like a car so that I wouldn't have to go through any of this. I could avoid taxis, buses, waiting around. I could just drive between place to place, but it's just so expensive. So I was like, yeah, cool, I'll just wait for the bus. So I waited for the next one, waited for an hour, went up to him, and he was like, no, and then just didn't give me anything else. And then just like drove away. So then I waited again, and then I was like, you know what, I think I'll just take one of the taxis that was sitting here, because it does seem to be a little bit further out. Like even if I get the bus line, I probably have to get as far as they can take me and then get a taxi from there. But if they don't have a taxi number, like you can't book online, and there's not like online taxi services, like you can't just search up the number. So I was like, oh, it might just be a lot easier and safer for me. I won't have to be walking for ages with the suitcase and the backpack. So I went and asked the taxi driver, and he had no idea what I was talking about, where it was. I'm showing him the map, and I'm showing him the address literally in Montenegro. Unless, oh my god, it's starting to make sense now. Okay, hold on. So he couldn't understand what it was, and I'm like here, he's like, oh, and then he's asking this other guy. Anyway, they called up, so they gave him the number for the hotel, and they called them up, and then he got the address. Then we're driving, I'm watching the money tick over, €2 per kilometre. I'm watching my map, and I see him take a longer route. I don't know whether it was just because it was the route he knew, or because that was the route that gets him more money. But we got there. It was actually really scary. Montenegrin roads, like Greece roads, were crazy because they were really narrow, and people just and it was mainly because big cars and buses just didn't care, and they did their own thing. Montenegro roads are crazy because they just constantly speeding and overtaking, and so dangerous. So taxi drivers overtaking, but so close to getting hit by another a car coming the other way. I'm like, hold on for dear life. How when you're learning to drive and your mum and your dad you do the tiniest little turn and they're holding on for it. I was actually doing that for dear life. And it wasn't a little turn. So it was I was like, oh no, oh dear Ruben. Anyway, so that was time. We kept going. It ended up costing me about 100 Australian dollars. Should have just hired the car. That's the curse of hindsight. But I get there kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I'm well, this looks to be the place. So I'm waiting outside. It looks like the apartment's the only apartment looking building that's around. Everything else is just worn down houses. So I'm just waiting. I'm ringing the doorbell, knocking. Keep checking and keep trying to message. I can't call because I don't have an actual number. I only have a data plan, so I can't call. And they're not connected to the WhatsApp, which is usually what you can do with the numbers. And I'm like, so I just wait out there for a while, just keep knocking the door. And then a guy walks past, like putting some like bins in. This is after like maybe an hour of me sitting there. A guy walks past to go take some rubbish up to the street to the bins, and I just knock on the door again. Maybe this will give me his attention as well. And he's like, are you from Facebook? And I was like, booking.com? Yes. Oh, no, not there, here. And I'm like, oh, okay, been waiting. See Daisy, sorry. And I walked down with him to his house. So my apartment is a room in this family's house. They're really lovely though, and they've got 2 little kids, and they're really sweet, and I automatically trust people when they have nice kids. So this little toddler's like running around, and she's so excited, and she's like holding my hand and pulling me up. The rest of the house is real dodgy, but this room is pretty nice. So come up. He doesn't speak much English. He speaks Russian, and is from Siberia. So that's where the family came from. About 2 years ago is where I've found them. Anyway, show me the room. They're really lovely. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? Only me. The door, he's like, on your property, like the door, he doesn't speak English very well, but yeah, he speaks 3 languages. He's doing better than me. But the door doesn't lock properly, so that's why I've got a chair there. He's like, problem solved. The aircon, he had to drag in a portable aircon unit and stick it out the window. But other than that, I get my own room, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, he's like, oh, shower and then come eat. And then he was telling me about this Russian dish. He's like, do you eat this? Do you like this? I'm like, first of all, couldn't even pronounce it if I tried. And no, I have not, but I would love to. So he's like, have shower, have bath, and then come down. So I did. And then I came down and he served me this Russian dish, and he kept speaking to me in Russian. And then he's got like a teenage son who speaks a little bit more English. So then he is kind of talking and translating. And so I'm sitting there eating my authentic Russian soup, and I got bread and ham. And then he comes in, tells me to put my phone away because we don't have phones while we're eating. We don't have phones so I'm sitting like outside in like the patio area, you know, just sitting there eating my soup. Like I said, thank you so much. Like, that's so wonderful. Thank you. They've gone back inside, sitting there eating. I'm texting Mike, and then I get in trouble for having my phone on the table. I'm like, oh, sorry, Dad. Anyway. And then he gives me a second serve because he's like, beautiful people, beautiful girls need lots of food, strong appetite. And like, facts. I do. We do need food. You're correct. And then he was like, oh, would you like coffee or tea? And I was like, oh, just water's okay. Thank you so much. And he goes, no, we have beautiful tea. So he got me some peppermint tea with some fresh black tea with peppermint. It's a traditional Serbian tea, no, Ukrainian tea. And then he kept asking me questions. He sat down with me, and yeah, he kept asking me questions, but then couldn't understand what I was replying to him, like in English with, so that was really tricky. Basically, the sum of our conversation was that he's a man of peace. So I was like, me too. And then his son came out, and we were kind of just chatting, he was doing really great because he knows like multiple languages. And then what I clicked on before was that when I was showing the address to the taxi people, and it was in there, I thought it was in Montenegro, and it was in Russian. That's why they had no idea. Probably. Anyway, so I'm here now, and I've been well fed. He sorted out the washing machine for me, and I'm just going to chill out for a bit. And then apparently, as a family, we're all going to go to the beach tonight. And I was asking, like, what's the because if we look like we're on the beach, but on the map, but then I'm like, oh, actually quite far away from that. So I asked him, it's like about an hour walk on the road, and then he's like, oh no, but there's a path. And then this, yeah, like the son was like, oh, but there's a path you can take much quicker down the hill. And then the dad was like, oh no, a pretty girl can't do that. Like, she can't do it. I'm like, snakes, spiders, bush. And I'm like, I'm from Australia. More bush. Don't worry. So the way I just said Australia just then was crazy. Australia. I was like, oh, that's okay. Like, I can do a bit of bushwalk. Like, it's fine. I can do a little hike if it's not too crazy. And then we started talking about Australia. Anyway, and yeah, so that's that. So it's super weird vibes, super weird, but also like wholesome at the same time. Yeah, I'll keep you updated. So I could not make this up if I tried. We pile into a family car, Dad's driving, I'm in the front seat, Mum and 2 kids in the back. We start driving down towards the beach, and he's pointing out like the mountains and trying to tell me like history and stuff, like all of it hard to understand, but we got there. We're driving down and we start going like past, like right at the beach, so kind of the boardwalk, and there's literally like a traffic cone to stop cars from going that way. He just gets out, moves traffic cone, keeps driving down. Everyone's looking at us real confused. I'm like, woohoo! Private entry. Anyway, we just like drive down, we go down to the beach. I help like get the kids out of the car. Like I'm just like acting like a nanny. Like, so weird. And you know, we go for a swim, have a swim snorkel, so lovely. They go swimming for a bit, I swim, I come, you know, we're out on like the deck chairs. I'm just chilling out, drying off, you know. And then he keeps making comments like to get off my phone all that. And I'm barely really on my phone. If I am, I might take a picture or something. Or I think at that point I was looking to hire paddleboards. And he made like a joke that he needs to take my phone off me, and so I can enjoy the nature. I'm like, oh, I am. I'm actually like trying to hire like paddleboards. They're like, why am I justifying myself to him? I don't need to. He's not like I'm paying to be here. But I was like, oh, and then it was confusing because he didn't know what paddleboards were. But anyway, it's just like weird little stuff like that. I end up going and walking up like the strip to go find somewhere to hire a paddleboard or a kayak or something the next day. I found someone, and they, you know, originally I was told like 30 euros per hour. I'm like, that's crazy. That's like $60 per hour. Then I'm trying to have a chat to these people. They don't speak any English, so they've got to wait to a waiter, like translating for them. Anyway, turns out these baby blues, they come in handy one day because the waiter's trying to like interpret for me, and he goes, oh, well, you can have, he says, because you've got beautiful eyes, you can have it cheaper. So I got cheaper, great. So I got 30 euros for 3 hours, much better. So I booked that in for the next day. I came back, and like the dad, like it's just, I think it just must be part of their culture. And he's like, could not fathom that I was going to do it by myself. He was like, oh, we'll get the son, like the teenage son, to come with me. I'm like, that's all good, I'm okay. He's like, oh, these brave Australian girls. like, yeah, it's all good. He's like, oh, you must be professional. Like, oh, well, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, sure. Anyway, we pile back in the car, and he says that we have to leave like a little bit earlier because we have to get to the grocery store because everything shuts the next day on Sundays. Like, no stores are open. Like, okay, awesome. I was like, and he's like, yeah, you can get stuff. I'm like, great. So, we're making our way down, speeding down the hill. The kids are like screaming because it's like roller coaster. I'm like, I mean, if the kids are fine, then I guess we're fine. Ah! You know, always reversing, pulling over to let cars come past on the narrow roads, and just wild. We get to the grocery store and I'm like, all right, well, I'll just duck in quickly, like while he sorts out the kids, to have a little look around. Anyway, so he just turns out they didn't need anything from the grocery store, which now I feel really bad about. So they just like went there just for me and just like followed me around. And then he's like, okay, so he gets like a basket. He's like, what do you want? Give me a list. You tell me and I'll tell you where it is. I'm like, cool. I'm not actually sure. I just kind of have a look at things, and then it's hard because he doesn't understand what I'm saying. And I'm like, I just look, see what's like cheap and what I feel like. And he's like, well, what do you need? What do you need? And then so it was just like following me around the store, and I felt really like pressured and like anxious about it. I'm like, I don't know what I want. And I'm like, and then he lost his kid. The little girl just ran off, so he lost her. So then that was a whole thing. But I kind of got time to myself, so that was cool. That was cool. And I just wanted to have a look and get things from the grocery store. I didn't know what I wanted. Anyway, I did. He said he'd line up for me. Well, I think that was what I interpreted from it. Because everyone was very busy in a small little grocery store, so they were lining up. So he held my spot in the line while I searched for things. So then I had even more pressure to like go quicker, and I was trying to find stuff. He didn't know what I was talking about. Like when I said pesto, I had no idea. And I'm like, basil. Anyway, found the stuff. I get back in the line with him, and he goes and like holds up this thing, and he's like, gift for child. And I'm like, okay, you know, cool. You're buying something for your child, right? Like he calls his daughter like child. Anyway, we get there. I only bought like 5 things, and you know, nothing over like €5, so it's a bit odd. You know, I'm trying to be cheaper here. The total, but first of all, okay, sorry, you can't spit out words. So first of all, then he ducks off to go get some water, and he's like, you'll need these, 50 cents each. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. And then turns out I'm paying for this chocolate spread gift for child, and then the total was €48, and I'm like, whoa, up there. I bought like 5. That spread was like truffle and gold flakes, like, or someone, like, they're trying to rip me off here. So like, I paid for it, and then I asked for the receipt, but they didn't give me an itemized receipt. It was just the net cost receipt, so then I had no idea. Anyway, we get back into the car, we're watching it, the sun had gone down, it was all beautiful. I was kind of just like feeling a bit. I'm sitting in the back seat now with the kids. I'm entertaining the 2 kids. Like the daughter's being a little bit feral. So I'm entertaining her, keeping her from like screaming, just like doing what I do, you know. And then, you know, she's starting to get tired. Like we're on the way home. Everything's dark. They're all speaking in Russian. I look at my phone. I don't know why I have to justify this, but I feel like I do. I look on my phone, and then this man's got eyes on the back of his head. Tells me to get off my phone again. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like, and I'm apologizing. And I'm like, why am I, like, I felt like I was an au pair. I felt like I was looking up, like my pay was board and food, you know, like, but I'm not. I paid for this, like, just weird vibes. So I was feeling a little bit weird. Anyway, I had some dinner. It was lovely. Came back and was like, okay, go shower in the sauna, because they want this little sauna thing. And by sauna, it's literally just like a wooden box and your head sticks out of it. So I wasn't really that into it. It's like, you're a sauna, it's included. And I was like, I guess so, sure. So then he's like, shows me the sauna, and then he goes, all right, you go shower, come back, just towel. And I was like, right. So it's just like this room that's next to mine, sorry, and it's got like their bathroom in there, and then it's just got like a sauna in this big room and like a massage table, because apparently he's a licensed masseuse as well. Anyway, so he's like, all right, go shower. I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, I had to like stand in the reused bath water, because I just, you know, because they're saving water and stuff, which I get. But like, I don't know, there was just like lots of little things. I sound so privileged right now, but there was just like lots of things that I just was feeling funny. I think it's, if I was like with someone, it would all just be like easy, lighthearted, but I was like, I just was feeling a little bit weird. So I go have a shower. The door doesn't shut properly. Like, it just doesn't shut properly. It doesn't lock, doesn't even shut all the way. And I'm like, the man, it's just on the other side. And I'm like, far out. So I just had like the quickest shower possible. like just as quick as I possibly can. I come back out in my towel, it's all fine. I go in the sauna, still feeling like a little bit weird, you know. I put my like bikini back on, so I was not feeling comfortable. I had the sauna, it was really lovely, and then he goes and has a shower, and then like the sauna was not like, it was not relaxing, because all I could just think about how there's this like a big Russian man like naked in the shower behind me. So weird. Anyway, and then there was like, it was just some weird vibes. To go outside and do some gentle breathing, which was really lovely, and I loved that, but I was like still in my towel, so that was just, anyway, it was just an odd experience, and I was like, I don't feel unsafe, but I feel weird. Then the next day, I slept, and then I went for the walk down to the beach. So I did the little hike. It's like a 30-minute hike. I was feeling very Australian. There were spiders everywhere. It was bush, it was hot, like it was fun. And when I came back, like he was absolutely, like, they're so sweet. They're really, really sweet, but he was absolutely gobsmacked that I did that by myself. He just cannot comprehend that I can do things by myself. And he was like, Red, you're the frustrated gross. Anyway, you know, they feed me, they give me all this fruit. Like, it's really lovely. It's so lovely. They're really kind. But it's just like, it's like pretty weird. Then, you know, just lots of the same stuff. Just me entertaining the kids. He tells me constantly, I'm getting told what an amazing mother and wife I'll be. I'll be such a good wife because I'm good with kids. They're so shocked to find that I could drive, that I could just like do anything independently. It's really shocking to them. But yeah, they're really sweet, and they offer me food all the time. I thought when they cooked the meal, they used the chicken that I bought and to feed the family, and I was like, oh, okay, because he goes, your chicken, and I'm like, well, like, thank you, like, I would have cooked it myself, but like, thank you so much for cooking it. It does taste delicious. But then I was just feeding the whole family. I was like, alright, I guess so. They did feed me once, and this is here, I guess. Turns out it wasn't in my chickens, and then I felt really bad. I did say my chicken, but I think you just meant like that you like chicken. It's just interesting. Anyway, they're really sweet. Just such a weird experience, and something that would only happen to me. Like, it's just, this is so kind of coded, it's crazy. So yeah, after all that, I was just gonna go for the walk this morning. Walk down to the beach that I was told is dangerous for a girl by herself. It's fine. It's actually on maps, which is crazy. So that's easy done. I don't even have to like wing it. And there is like, it's like a path. So easy peasy. This is me currently in like a secret mermaid cave. I'm just kayaking. I've just come outside of it. Now I'm chilling out on a private little beach that I kayaked to. And yeah, taking a break. I can nothing ever just be easy when it's with me. Right away, I beautiful kayak, saw the blue cave, was making my way back. Thought I was taking a bit of a shortcut because rather than follow like the coastline, thought I just cut across to make sure I got back in time. And then I realized that it was definitely not a shortcut, it was a long cut. And I needed to get back into the bay, so then I was kind of in open water. And then the tide changed, so as I was heading towards the caves, the tide was like pulling me in, which was a little bit annoying. And then, but on my way back, I was like, great, that'll help me. And then the tide changed and the wind picked up, and then so I'm there, I'm like it was quite a bit. But we got there. I've got sore little hands and fingies, but honestly, she'd be strong. And now I'm just chilling in the bay, nice and protected, watching the sunset with plenty of time to spare. This is the building that I thought was my apartment. And look, there's little ponies and their little foals. This family is so odd because they're in absolute shock when I do anything independently. Like the fact that I can drive, the way I was kayaking by myself. They're like, oh my, you brave, beautiful Australian girl. And then they just like drop me off at some beach and then tell me that I'm gonna hitchhike home. Like, I'm just, it's so weird. Whoa, good run. Ready?
Whoa!
Good job! I'm off today, so it was 3 nights here. 3 nights I thought I was in an apartment, hotel room by myself, but you know, things happen and it's a story. Okay, so introduce yourselves. Say hi, my name is.
I must say something.
Yeah.
My name is Roman. I am a man of the pist, intelligent trainer. And Hannah was our guest, and it will be great. She's motivated me and my family for more путешествия, traveling. And I want to go in Australia because in Australia living the best girls and I think the best people in the world.
I think
the
so
best
too.
insects in the world live in Australia.
Insects,
I
you
know.
love the insects.
It's
I
my
know.
son.
Best kangaroos living in
We
Australia.
do have kangaroos. Bye!